Hello and welcome back to another episode of Food for Freedom podcast. I am Fuel for Freedom on Instagram and TikTok. For those of you who are new here, my name's Niamh. I am the host of this podcast and I talk about all things food freedom. I have struggled with food myself for so many years. I've cured myself from my EDs and I like to share everything that I've learned along the way. I like to share everything that I have learned on the way, absolutely everything, all of the tools that I use, all of the ways that I think, all of the ways I try and explain things. Like, I like to share it with you in order for you to help heal your relationship with food as well, because online it's just this thing of like, one day you go from sometimes like really small or the worst time in your life to then like this transformation of you looking healthy, happy and eating. And yes, whilst that's amazing, we need to go deeper. We need to understand what's actually going on in the brain, and those are the things that I learned the hard way. Those are the things that I learned from consistently showing up, from consistently doing these things every single day. And that's why I like to share it, because then I am at least here for you, helping guide you on the way. It's just what worked for me. It's not in replacement of medical advice. It's not something to take as Bible. It is literally me trying to inspire you, me trying to give you a little bit of help and some more inspiration in order for you to heal your relationship with food as well. So I really hope you enjoy it here. And to those of you who have listened every single week, then hello again and thank you. Thanks for showing up again. Today's episode, I wanted to talk about motivation. And well, I didn't want to talk about motivation. I wanted to motivate you. I wanted to use this episode as like a bit of like a, let's get the fire inside us burning, like let's think about life. Because the thing is, I understand how hard it is to find the motivation yourself to recover, to heal your relationship with food. Whatever stage you are in, it is so incredibly hard to think outside of a box about life and what life could be without it, when you are so deep in it and it's so normal for you to think about food and it controlling you. And basically, you only know a life with the voice, and the voice has hijacked your life. It's taken everything from you and you just live by the voice's rules. And I want to open you up to a life that is outside of the voice, and I'm going to be the other voice. So you've got one voice in your head and I'm going to be the one on your shoulder going, listen to me. So yeah, as I was saying, it can be really hard to find the motivation for yourself. And sometimes as well, when you are underfueled and restricting, you don't necessarily even have the energy or the brain power to think outside of the box, to think of a life outside, because you just don't care. Like, you don't give a fuck. All you care about is listening to the voice, abiding by the rules of the voice, and just trying to survive another day, trying to be more disciplined, trying to make it a day in the voice's day in the life. And it's just tiring. But in order to beat the voice, I feel like you need to have this goal, or like this life that you really look up to, or this version of yourself that you really, really look up to. And that is your motivation. That is your why. Every time the voice tries and tells you that you don't deserve that life, that is your why. That's your purpose. That's something that you hold close to your chest, knowing that one day you are going to make it, wherever you are in your journey. So this episode, I really want to just give you some of my energy, and I want to pass it through the camera, and I want to explain to you what life can look like without the voice, and what the voice is secretly taking from you, from your life, from you, without you even realizing it. Even if this feels so far off from you right now, just know it is always here for you to listen to. It is possible. It is a choice, and I'm not saying that in a way of you are causing this for yourself and you are the reason you are down bad. That's not what I'm saying. But you one day will get to the point where you think, do you know what, I am actually going to try what Niamh said, and I'm really going to make a promise with myself that I'm going to show up every single day, and I'm going to beat this voice, and I'm going to think about that video that Niamh explained, A Life Without, and I want that for myself, and I want this and that. And you will choose that for yourself one day. You will, and you will find the strength to choose that for yourself one day. But do not beat yourself up if you are not there yet, because that day will come. And this is the whole purpose of this video. Like, I'm trying to inspire you, I'm motivating you. I'm not saying you have to do it now. Okay, so it's always going to be here for you to listen to. With that being said, this is episode 11, and this is who you would become without the voice. When you live a life that is controlled by this voice, food is the bane of all evil in our minds. Okay, food is the one thing that we fear. We know this. Food is the one thing that we freak out around. Food is the one thing we have to keep safe in order to feel okay. We have to keep it controlled. We don't like spontaneity. Spontaneity. I don't know if I ever get that word right. Anyway, you know what I mean. Food becomes the centre of our life, and it was never ever meant to be there. So when this voice controls everything you do around food, it becomes your new normal, and it becomes more and more obsessive, and the goalpost gets moved further away. So the control and the rigid rules get tighter. That's why some days can genuinely feel unbearable, because it's like you are following by all the rules, yet you are still not happy where you are. And when you are in this position, it is not just controlling food and controlling your life. It is actually shaping who you become. It turns you into a whole completely different person that you do not even recognize anymore, but it becomes normal to you, and you don't feel like you've changed, because it feels like this is who I need to be in order to be okay. And if anyone can't understand that, then whatever. When really it has shaped you into a minion of the voice's power and control. It has shaped you into someone that follows these rules in the grips of the voice. And that has affected your spontaneity. Please, I don't know, I can't even look it up right now. I'm gonna have to look it up in a second. It affects that, and it affects your identity, it affects your confidence, it affects your self-expression, it affects your emotional regulation, it affects pretty much every aspect of your life. But because you and I were so focused on food and focused on a certain way, you don't necessarily see those things being sculpted in the background. So really the end goal is to have this future version of yourself that not only eats differently, but they want to feel like they have found themselves again. Whether it's a completely new identity, a new perspective, a new energy and spark brought back into this life from you, you still want to return to who you feel like you are. And that is the end goal as well as being free around food. You want to recognize yourself again. You want to become the person that you feel that you are, not the person that's hijacked by this stupid voice. So I'm just going to paint a little picture for you first to start off, and help you imagine things and help you sort of see that version of yourself. And it's things that you may have already heard before, and things that you think, oh yeah, like, oh I know, but it just could never be me, I'm different, I'm different to everyone else, I'm never going to get that, I'm not strong enough to do that. All of those excuses, and you're not wrong for making those excuses. You have been so brainwashed that those excuses feel like the truth, but that's why I'm here to break it for you. So there is a mirror version of you. There is someone that is literally there, ripe for the taking, waving at you saying, I'm here, you just need to believe that I'm here, and you need to step into me to become me. And that version of you is able to go out for spontaneous coffees with friends and have whatever syrup they want, have whatever coffee they want, whether it's a mocha, a latte, those numbers that specifically put you off. Yep, no, you'll be able to have those. And you'll be able to enjoy it, and you'll be more focused on being excited to go out for this coffee and being excited to be with your friends. There's a version of you that wakes up in the morning and stomach isn't turned by the guilt of everything you ate yesterday. I used to go through stages where I would wake up and I would the first thing I would think of was, oh God, I ate that yesterday, and like I ate this and I ate that, and it's just dread and guilt, and you will wake up and that won't be the first thing you think about. That same version of you will be able to feel hunger, will be able to feel full, and those feelings won't scare you. There'll be things that you respond to, there'll be things that you can sit with and not think twice about. There's a version of you that will move through the day without having to constantly check for your reflection in every single mirror, constantly scan what you're eating, constantly check your body or check how your clothes fit after you've been eating. That version of you isn't possible for everyone else, and not just you. I'm not lucky. I'm not someone that's lucky that's been given this and that has just been able to, wake up one day and feel like this. I have learned and re-brainwashed myself to believe it is possible for me, and that's why I share it with you too. The voice is always going to make you believe that this is never possible for you. Of course it's not possible for you, because you just get fat and you just look silly and you just look ugly and no one's going to love you, and then you're going to feel so self-conscious about wearing things, and you're just going to always think about food. Do not listen to those lies. I had those lies. I had anything the nastiest stuff you could ever imagine saying to yourself, I have said to myself. And I have really, really and truly believed that there is no way out for me. But that mirror reflection I'm explaining of you, that is there waiting to be taken by you, that was the same thing with me. And now I am in the position where I can go out for coffees with my friends and I can have whatever I want. I can go for breakfast, I can have whatever I want. I could go for a coffee and a cake, I can have whatever I want. I can have a weekend takeaway and it not ruin my whole week again and say I have to start again Monday. Everything in my life is just balanced now. Everything is just finally feels right and feels like everything that I deserve, and everything that I didn't deserve to put myself through is now gone. But I had to experience that to understand what was actually right for me and be able to be in this position to share it with you. No one ever told me when I was struggling that that version of me was there ready for me. That version of me I didn't know existed. Yeah, I'd experienced it before, but I was so... This was me. This felt like everything that my childhood and everything that I'd always felt towards my body was bubbling up, and it had finally come out, and this is just what life was going to be like for me. No one told me that I would be okay. No one told me there's a version of me that's going to be free around food. I promise you, when you get to that version of yourself, you will look back and you will understand everything that I'm saying and be like, she really was right. She really was right. No matter how long it takes you, the version of you exists. In our heads, food has become way more than food. It's become our sense of control. It's become our sense of safety. It's become our sense of feeling okay when times are hard. And what once felt like something protective and felt like we had our life together and felt like we're so disciplined and felt like, yeah, we're finally going to be liked, has now turned into something that's ruining our lives and slowly ruining everyone else's lives who are also dealing with it. And it starts to run your whole entire life without you even realising it. I'm going to explain a few hidden things that the voice in your head and food running your life and the identity that you're in now, with food being the centre of your life, a few ways that your life has been affected by this voice. And it's going to help you be a bit more aware. Not that I'm saying you need to be, you haven't been aware and this is your fault. It's not that at all. I'm saying awareness is the first stage of making a change. And if I can make you aware of these things, then they're things that I felt like I needed to be aware of too. And when I read them back, I think, oh, I never ever thought of that, because who blames you for not thinking of that? Like, it feels near impossible, because all you think about is calories, weight, food, you know, all of that, instead of all of the things that it's affecting your life. You don't care. So now I'm going to open your eyes and I'm going to help you become aware. When you're controlled by food, it becomes a measuring tool for the worthiness of how you feel, for your safety, for how that day is going to go, you know, how you feel about yourself based on what you see in the mirror, or how well you ate that day, or if you listened to the rules enough that day. Like, what do you mean I used to just, like, first thing, wake up, look at, like, feel guilt for the day before, look at my body, I would stand there for probably 5 minutes every single angle, picking my body apart, like, oh, why is my stomach still there? Why do my arms still look fat? Why do I look like this? Why do I look like I shouldn't have eaten that yesterday? Like, I've messed up. It's fine, I'll start again tomorrow. Then I would proceed to just take body pictures to just double check and be able to compare it to other sources that week of how my body's changed. And depending on how I felt about that, which was never good, can I say, because the goalpost always changes, that would dictate how I felt that day. And I'll tell you something, it was always a bad day. It was always a bad mood. It was always bitchy Niamh, because I was never happy with what I was seeing, but I was so tired and I was so hungry and so exhausted from the rules. So hang on a sec, I'm following all the rules, but nothing's happening, and this voice promises me I'll be okay, but I'm never okay. So I need to follow the rules stronger, because otherwise it's just not worth the guilt, and it's just not worth the noise in my head, and it's just... Your worth should never, ever, 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 ever be based on what you've eaten or how your body looks. If you are experiencing the same thing as that, then you need to realise that that is a very toxic thing if the voice is doing. It wants you to hate yourself so that you follow the rules stricter, and that part of your life, like your mood, how you are around people, how you experience things, how you stay present at things, all of that is being affected by how you feel about yourself in the mirror that day or how you eat that day. And it's just like, that is absolutely heartbreaking. And another thing is when you go have meals or have dinners and stuff, like you're mentally preparing for the meals hours in advance, and it's like you can't just enjoy a meal. Like, you don't really enjoy eating anymore because it's that thing of everything is just the same, everything's boring. There's always something that you wish you could be eating but you're not allowed. You have to have the safe option instead. And it's like so many hours and days are wasted following rules that never ever make you happy, eating things that never ever make you happy. And yes, it's amazing to look after your health and amazing to, you know, eat some vegetables and fruits and stuff, but when you are strictly only eating safe foods because of a weight purpose, that brings no happiness to your life. And there's so many amazing flavours out there to try, like, that you're missing out on. Like, one thing I massively missed and never let myself have or take part in was fajitas. Tell me why. I'm not sure, but they are one thing that I absolutely love. Dominoes, oh my god. Oh, the actual love that I have for Domino's. I actually haven't had one in a while. I'll need to add that to the list. Yeah, so pizzas, I'd always like watch my family eat it and always make this safe meal that was making me miss out on all of these lovely flavours. I would miss out on peanut butter. I've spoke about this before. Biscuits. Just every sort of fear food that you can imagine, I was not allowed. And I was wasting all of these taste tests. Like, imagine, I'm so grateful that Marks and Spencer's wasn't popping off in the time that I was struggling with food, because I am like Marks and Spencer's through and through lover, and the whole fun of Marks and Spencer's is trying the new things. So my mission is to get you to try something that you want to try, because it's safe to do that and it's fun to do that and it's part of your life that you're missing out on to do that. So if you can even just pluck the courage up to do something because you're getting your life back, this is the life you could have. By eating these things, you're opening up, you're bringing yourself closer to that life. But these are the things that are slowly running away from you that you don't typically realise sometimes. Another thing to show if food is running your life and what is being taken away from you is one mistake in the food day, bunny ears, can ruin your whole mood. If you are served something that you didn't realise, can ruin your whole mood. If you eat something and realise you measured it wrong, ruin your whole mood. If something isn't there that you were thinking about all day, ruins your mood. And when I say ruins your mood, it doesn't put you in like a little strop. It is literally hatred, like pure hatred you will feel. And it's like, no one deserves to one, feel that like that surge of anger over something like that. But you shouldn't feel like things are being ruined because of a spontaneous like change in things. Like, humans' bodies are made to adapt and know what they're doing with stuff, and you know, we almost feel like we're being tricked if something happens, and it's like, you shouldn't have to deal with that. Food has been given this emotional authority to be able to just change our emotion at the flick of a switch, and it's all to be in control and be made feel bad by this voice in our head that again promises us this happy ending that never actually comes. So you will know if food is running your life for you if you can't simply ask yourself, what do I want to eat? Instead, it's, what can I eat that's going to keep me safe? What can I eat that's going to keep my calories down? What can I eat that's going to make me feel okay and not spiral? What can I eat that's, you know if food is running your life for you. And if you are watching this, then it probably is. So being aware of those things, and this might just help you think to yourself, like, where else in my life am I suffering that I don't want to do anymore? I want to make a change. Like, where else is holding me back? What are things I really want to do? And make a list. You don't have to act on the list straight away, but make a list of things that you really want to do, but you can't see for yourself yet. So when food is running your life for you, you become smaller in ways that, I mean, within your personality and within you, in ways that you even don't realise yet. You're less spontaneous, maybe you realise that. You're less available, you're less alive, you're less connected to what you actually want from life. And that's the reason why I'm doing this episode, because it's like, what I was saying is, you can have absolutely no motivation for what you want, or know what you want, or even the motivation for yourself to get yourself out of this. You have a personality under this voice that is itching to come out, and that scratch needs to be itched, because your personality is going to contribute into this world the way you don't even realise yet. But the longer you listen to that voice, the longer that personality is suppressed. You are in rooms right now where you cannot be fully present because your presence is lost in the abyss of control and food noise. And you are in rooms, but you are not fully in your life. So people can see you, you're there, but you are not in your life. You are living a life by the voice that is affecting so many other people as well. But there is a life outside of this that is waiting to be lived by you. Being spontaneous, like anything that you were invited to. And I just think to myself, like, God, like, I remember when I was struggling and I used to think to myself, I will never be able to go on an all-inclusive holiday again. I will never be able to, like, eat on a holiday because I won't be able to access a kitchen and the foods that make me safe. And I just think, what the actual fuck? Like, what the fuck? And it's like, food you have to eat. So of course you have to go and eat at the buffet, and of course you deserve to go and eat at the buffet. It doesn't mean you have to eat the whole entire fucking buffet, but the voice in your head will make you believe that you are gluttonous. Like, you will go into that buffet and you won't be able to control yourself, so you can't go on them holidays because you can't control anything while you're out there. And it's like, everything has to pass, every spontaneous thing in your life and fun thing in your life has to pass through this food filter first. It's like, oh, can I do that? No, can't do that. Can I do that? No, can't do that. It's easier to just ignore these things and not go to these things because you can't deal with the voice that's in your head. But spontaneous life is so much better than being trapped. And that is one thing, that is one huge thing that the voice has taken away from you. I think the hardest thing and the hardest realisation of struggling with food is, not only does that voice in your head take up so much space and so much power in your brain, but it takes up places and spaces that you are meant to be in. You're meant to be out with your friends having fun. You're meant to be going on these holidays. You're meant to be having nights out eating 3-course meals because you want to. You're meant to be sitting with your family having a takeaway because you want to. You're meant to be waking up and thinking about what recipe do you want to try today? Oh, maybe that one we saw on TikTok. You're meant to be doing these things. Like, you are meant to be living. But we lose this in the control of the voice because we think, I'll live when I get to this point. I'll live when I'm there. I'll live when I get to this weight. That never comes. That never comes. And the more you believe that for yourself, the more you are handing the power to the voice, saying, here, voice, take another year of my life. Here, voice, take another year of my life. And I'm not saying you need to come off of this video now and go and say, right, I need my presence back. I need my spontaneity back. Spontaneity, whatever. I need my, this is actually killing me. I just know, like, I'm going to look back at this and think, what the fuck was I saying? Why didn't I just Google it before? My car alarm just started going off. I don't even know how to control this car. Sometimes it's all in an app. Often now it's thrown my train of thought. But the whole point is, you are meant to be in these places that the voice makes you believe you're not. It's taken away all things in a way to keep you stuck, keep you small. And I'm not saying that you have, I think that's what I was saying. I'm not saying you have to go and go out and grab all these things for yourself. I want to be spontaneous again. I need to go and live life to the fullest. I need to be present. It sounds too overwhelming like that, but you can work at things that bring you those feelings. Think about what things bring you those feelings. What things would you love to be doing again that you're not allowed to do? What are some small steps you can be taking in order to do these things? And it's like, people always message me saying, like, I've tried and I've done one thing, but I just couldn't help but spiral, and I couldn't help but this and that. But that's because you have decided to fight back for yourself. You have decided to answer in a way or think of a new way. And your brain, there's a part in your brain called the amygdala, which is a literal alarm, and it's going to fire double. It's going to double down on the alarm that it's firing, because it's like, fuck, like, you don't normally fight back. So now that you are, we need to tighten our rules, because we can't let you lose control, because we don't know what's going to happen if you know, if you eat this food and you are okay. Like, how do we deal with this? And that leads on to my next point of, the brain loves certainty more than it loves freedom. Your brain has been so used to having these rules for control in order to feel safe, in order to be vigilant, and it's like, anything outside of this and what you truly believe it doesn't feel like it can survive. It doesn't feel like it knows what to do. Just because your brain is choosing that these rules are best for you and that you need to listen to these rules and they feel so convincing, it doesn't mean it's the best for you. It's often the things that are most predictable, most familiar, that feel most in control, that have been listened to the most. Your brain craves certainty. And food feeds certainty through the rules, the restrictions, the rigidness, you know, like the times, how much you eat of things, what you eat of things, certain types of food, safe meals. Like, that's the certainty that the brain craves and is getting from food. Your brain also craves relief, and the relief it's getting right now is from the discipline of following the rules. Like, oh, I feel safe again. Oh, at least if I get to eat my meals, I'll be okay. Oh, managed to hit my calories today. Like, that is the relief it craves. So where else in your life could you give yourself relief where it's actually the opposite? So it's like, oh, I just ate this and I was okay after. Think about all the times you ate things and you were actually okay. Yeah, the guilt and the fear showed up, but were you okay? Yeah, think about those. They can provide relief because it's like, hang on a sec. Maybe I can eat things that I want to eat and be okay. That's relief. And it's like, you just need to train new relief and new certainty for your brain. And the certainty you can train with your brain with time is that you are going to feed it what it wants when it wants. If I went home today on a weekday, God forbid a school night, and I had some chocolate, that was a rule that I wasn't allowed to do. I wouldn't have been allowed to have chocolate. And it's like, now if I go home and do that and have a Reese's egg, a Reese's peanut butter egg, I've provided certainty to my body that I listen to my cravings. I listen to my body. I listen to what I want. I listen to what I show my body that I trust it. I'm constantly have that relationship with my body, and I show my brain the certainty that it's going to be fed and that I'm actually listening and in tune with my body. It takes time, but you can flip what the brain craves and how it craves it, because right now, and where you were and when I was struggling with food, the certainty and the relief that came was from rules, restrictions, and food. So you can't beat yourself up if you are wondering why food freedom is hard. Like, you want this life for yourself and you're aware of this life, but why does it feel hard? Well, because your brain still believes that certainty and relief and those things are still combined with rules and restrictions and feel safer than freedom. So you need to prove to your brain that freedom is safe and it's something that you are committed to and it's something that you want. And if freedom is new and new free rules are new, it's going to feel unfamiliar, it's going to feel scary, it's going to be hard. But that's what you can't beat yourself up, because that's why freedom is so scary to the brain and it's hard to get to, because it feels less familiar than the certainty of controlling food and rules. Moving on to my next point is everything that this voice and the lie that you are being told is costing you. And I obviously love to explain it as though like you've been hijacked, this isn't you, the voice has come in and stolen your life from you essentially. So let's talk about theft. Let's talk about everything that's stolen. It's thieved from you, it's come in and it's just snatched. Not only has it taken the one thing that you solely love through and through, want to explore, want to experience, food, but it's completely narrows your life. It's tunnel vision. It's one thing in front of me and that is all I see. So going into the deeper meanings of this, you feel like you've just lost peace around food, right? You feel like you have lost the ability to feel okay and safe around food. What you have really lost, yes, you've lost that, but you've also lost mental space. And only do you see the peace around food and having the peace around food, not being able to think around food and not being able to feel safe around food, but you've also lost the mental space for a whole lot of other stuff in your life. And I speak about this a lot, but you have careers. I'm not saying life should be all about working, but you have careers, you have opportunities, you have people that you've never even met yet that you are not open to. You can't think about, you can't even fathom, because food is taking up the voice and food is taking up so much of your mental space. You can't think about, your parents, you can't think about your siblings, you can't think about your friends, you can't really think about checking in on other people, you can't think about creating relationships, you can't think about sustaining relationships, you can't think about the next move you want to do, you can't think about your dreams. Maybe you can think about them, but you can't put any mental effort into working towards them or doing anything towards it because it's too, you haven't got the mental space for it, because your brain is physically consumed with food. Another thing you feel like you've lost is control over eating, control over being able to listen to your body. Yeah, you've lost that, but you've also lost the trust in yourself, trust to be able to do things, trust to be able to listen to your body when it wants things, trust to be able to follow through things for yourself, because this isn't your fault. It's all part of being hijacked. But with me especially, something I really, really struggle with, even to this day, and I'm really working on it, and that's why I feel like I've been put here to share this message with you. I really struggle with trust in myself. Now that I have completely trust maxed my body, like I trust when I'm going to feed myself, I trust that I'm going to listen when I want a rest day, I trust that, like, I just have trust with my body. It's taken a while, but I've got it. But because I lost so much trust in myself during this period, I really struggle to do things I say I'm going to do, in the sense of, like, for example, say if I said I'm going to do this for X amount of days, like, what could I use in that? Read. I'm going to read for X amount of days, and if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I can't stick to, I struggle to stick to, even if I'm really enjoying the book, I am the biggest procrastinator in myself sometimes, because it's like, I say I'm going to do things and I don't follow through, and it's like, it's because I've lost trust with myself, and my brain just thinks to myself, well, you're not going to do it anyway. You're not going to do it anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I'm really trying to prove to myself I can habit stack. And I'm not saying you have to habit stack to be okay, but habit stacking is so important in order to have that trust yourself, because trust comes through in so many areas of your life. So with food, I lost all trust, and I think the voice shaped that for loads of other parts of my life as well, where it's like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do it. It doesn't matter. You can say you're going to do that, but you don't do it. And it's the same with finding food freedom. I used to say, like, I'll do it when I get here, I'll do it when I get there, I'll do it when I get there. That day never comes, so I keep making a word for something and then not following through with it. I'll recover soon, I'll get better soon, I'll read this self-help book soon. Never do it, procrastinate, because I've got no trust that I can do it. I've got no trust that I want to be able to do it. And that doesn't apply for everyone. This is personal experience. I'm just saying these are things that I lost with myself, and I'm still working on to this day in different areas of my life, because my whole point is, this voice doesn't just affect food. It's affecting your whole life. Another huge one that you don't realise is as severe as it is, but you feel like you've lost freedom with food. Yes, you've lost freedom with food, but you have lost freedom to a whole life, because not only can you not eat what you want to eat when you want to eat it, you can't do anything. Like I was saying about the all-inclusive holiday, I couldn't even think about going on holiday. I didn't want to go on holiday. I don't want to go out with my friends, because it's another excuse to mess up my rules, another thing that's going to make me not feel in control. And it's like, freedom from every single aspect of your life has been taken, but we only see it as, oh, I can't eat what I want, I wish I could. You're aware that you can't go do these things, but you don't want to do these things because they get in the way of the rules and the restrictions. So you are losing freedom to your whole life. The reason this is so powerful to understand and so important to understand is because we need to stop thinking in the sense of we've only lost food and it only affects food in our life. Yes, it feels like the centre of our world, but our world is so much bigger, and we need to understand that. Obviously, in my last episode, I spoke about the fact that food doesn't have the power we assign to it. It's not even food's fault. But we are so solely focused down on food because of the meaning we have attached to it. And then that has shaped our whole entire life without us realising. But we still only see the food in front of us. We still only see the thoughts that come with the food. When you are experiencing this, food starts acting like a gatekeeper between you and life. It's keeping your life from you. It's stealing every single part of your life that you have, that you want to have. It's taking it. It decides how you feel in the day. It decides how present you get to be. It decides how much of yourself you're allowed to bring to a day. It has taken your whole entire identity. Everything that you are put on this earth to do and be, it has taken. And the sooner you realise that it has been taken by a voice that lives in your head, the sooner you will want to separate from it. Because it's like, hang on a sec, Niamh's right. Like, I'm not living my life. I have so much of a life and this voice isn't me. And it's like, I understand that the thoughts through your head right now are going to be, yeah, but I just, like, she's right, but I just can't deal with weight gain. I just can't deal with my body change. You are no different from anyone else. I had those fears too. I gained weight, yes. Am I happy with my body? Yes. Something that I never ever thought I would say about myself, because I'll tell you what, the suffering and the days that I've been through with struggling with food and being my smaller self could never ever 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 live up to how I feel now in myself now, for the days I experience now. Sometimes I do look at my body and I think, oh, I don't feel great today. Who doesn't? Who doesn't feel like that? I'm a woman. My body fluctuates. I'm going to go through that. And another thing that I kept seeing so many people post is about how different dog breeds are like different shapes and stuff. I don't know, I could be saying this completely wrong, but no dog shape is the same, and you don't compare dogs. So it's like our bodies, I can't remember what it was, but it was something like, basically the message of it is we're all different shape and structures, so we can't fucking expect ourselves to look like something that we want to look like, because we're never going to look like that. So you may as well just embrace who you are while you are here. And I'll tell you what, the weight gain is never, ever, 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 ever as bad as it makes you feel in the head. And you are not different. Your body isn't different to everyone else's biological way of being on this world. You're not going to, wake up and be this unlovable big monster. It doesn't work like that. You gain weight that you are meant to have in order to live your life. And you should be more appreciative, and I understand that's hard. I understand it's hard. But of the life you get to live that the voice didn't get to take away from you. And with whatever weight gain comes with that, weight gain is what you accept. And it is never as bad as you think it's going to be. Like, you have a body, you have a set range in your body you are meant to be and meant to live this life with. Your body will stop fighting you. Your mind will stop fighting you when you get to this point. And yes, I understand that people say, yeah, but I'm weight restored, but I still have the thoughts. That's where the rewiring comes in. And who said you're weight restored? Like, who says that? What is weight restored? Like, is there a certain night? Is there a certain number? Like, you are weight restored when food stops being the centre of your life, and you feel like you are finally got your hunger cues back. You finally can eat things, feel full, and then not fancy food for a bit until you're meant to eat next. Like, hunger cues will come back. You will know when you are normal eating again, and you will be honest with yourself and know that there are no restrictions. Weight restored isn't this thing where it's like, yeah, I'm here, but blah, blah. You have to actually feel that trust with yourself when you know you are eating enough. And you will get that if you are eating enough. And then with a fueled mind, it's easier to rewire your thoughts as well. There is something so incredibly exhausting about being in constant negotiation with this voice and constant captivity with this voice. Constantly being overwhelmed, constantly feeling like your whole value, like your peace is based on this voice and what you've eaten that day. Being aware of what this voice and what is being taken from you can cause this type of grief where it's like I don't want to lose any of my life, but I feel like I genuinely can't do it. And it's like, but that grief is good because you can channel that to be a desire for change. I need you to understand that self-trust is made through breaking these rules that you know aren't serving you and showing yourself that you are okay and that you mean that you're sticking to not following these rules anymore. And I can assure you that a life built on self-trust always be bigger and better than a life built on fear, self-fear, and overwhelmed by fear. Your life will always be bigger with a life of self-trust, but your life is constantly being made smaller by a life led by fear. Slowly moving into the last sort of chunk of this episode, and that is the person that you could be, that person that stood there going, I'm over here. Just to be clear, okay, this is a process of being aware, separating, rewiring and becoming. The process I followed anyway. And the very first thing I had to do was fuel myself and eat a significantly larger amount than I was eating. Have to get rid of rules, have to start incorporating new foods into my diet, having to feel uncomfortable, having to go through bloating, having to do weight gain. I had to do all those steps. You cannot merely just think yourself out of this. You have to support it with the action and eating and fueling your body, because you cannot think with an unfueled mind, okay? The second thing is about who you can become. Who you can become, I don't want to lie to you, because this is what I experienced, okay? And I feel like it's the same with other people. When I am vulnerable especially, I can still get food noise. Very rarely, because it's like I am at a very healthy weight. I eat constantly. I always listen to when I'm hungry and I feed myself. I always listen to what I want and I feed myself. I have just built the trust now, and that is all I could ever dream of. However, because that is such a big part of your life, of controlling food and your whole worth being tied to food, it takes a while for it to fully go. I have to constantly show up for myself. I have to constantly teach myself all these principles. Do you know what? I listen to my own podcast sometimes, because it's like, I cannot believe I'm the one sitting here saying this. And it's like, but this is actually what I believe now. Like, who would have thought? But I can still get thoughts, right? But the difference is between me getting a thought and someone who's struggling is, I don't act on the thought because I know the thought doesn't serve me. It's bullshit. Like, and it's like once one thought within some sort of time I'm feeling vulnerable or whatever, the thoughts can still show up. So you need to know you are not failing, or it's never going to leave you if the thoughts show up, because they can show up, but it's what you do with the thought. So I've made a video recently about when the thought comes up, who the fuck said that? Who said that? I didn't say that. If it's trying to make me feel guilty around food, who said that? Immediately breaks the pattern of me thinking, oh yeah, I shouldn't have actually eaten that. Wait. Who said it? It's not me. I'm Niamh. I'm the face of food freedom. Do you know what I mean? I can't be saying that in my head. Who said that? And it's like, then with me going, who said that? I've automatically interrupted that thought coming in, that intrusive thought coming in. Gives me that time to think, oh yeah, that's who the fuck I am. I'm the face of food freedom. Like, no food controls me. No voice comes in and gets me. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna show it that I'm in control. And then I'll distract myself, and the thoughts can still come up. Brain rewiring can take fully years and years and years and years and years. When you are fully conditioned to believe that your whole value is built around food, and your worth is all built around food and control and all of that, it's going to take some time for your brain to snap out of it. And now, because I know the journey I've been on and what I believe in and what works, I'm able to snap myself out of it. The goal isn't to become someone that, and I've said this before, but the goal isn't to become someone that eats perfectly and never has a thought, and you know, is completely like a brand new person that like never ever worries about how they look or what they eat. It's about becoming someone who doesn't let these thoughts dictate their life, respond to these thoughts without it ruining their life, and just becoming someone who is in control with what they are doing and how they are responding to things. So really think about who it is you want to become. You can't just be like, I want to become someone who's completely perfect around food and completely never has a bad thought ever again, because it's like, you're a human. You are human. Your brain has been wired to react like this way. So then when it doesn't happen, you'll be really disappointed with yourself and think, oh, for fuck's sake, this doesn't work anyway. Like, I'm just such a failure. I'm going to do this. Think about the things you want to see in your life again. Think about those things. What do you want to reintroduce? What do you want to do? What do you want to do again? What are things that are being taken back? Like, what are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your things you want to try again? What are things you want to take part in again? Think of those things. Who do you really want to be? And who could you be with that if food wasn't running your life for you? The person who is free around food has their mind back. Their whole day won't be constantly about what food they're going to eat, what time, eating one meal and thinking about the next. You won't wake up with that pit in your stomach. The person you could become trusts themselves. They trust they're hungry now, there's no food around, but they trust that when they go back home, they're going to make sure they've had lunch, even if it's an hour after lunch, and not use it as an excuse to skip a meal. They trust themselves to go and have something that they want to eat and know that they'll be okay. They trust themselves enough to have a craving and go and listen to it and have it. They trust themselves to know that if they are hungry at a certain time of week, it's because their body is asking for more food, and they trust that. They don't think that their brain is going against them, trying to make them a horrible monster. The person who is around food is present. They are in the room with their family, and they are also present in their life. They are not split between a conversation that is happening. that your brain couldn't concentrate on right now, and then also what's happening over there with food, when am I going to get fed, like I can't eat that. You're just present. You're not consumed by the food, or any food at that means in that moment. You are more grateful to have people around you and be present in these moments, because like I went without this for so long. And the person who's free around food can receive life. They can go on holiday, they can get a surprise trip booked for them and be able to go and not worry about the food. They can go on their all-inclusives and not worry about food. They can go out for coffees with their friends and not worry about syrups, milks, lattes, what they're going to have. They can read a menu and pick what they want, not spend half an hour deciding what they're going to have and still panic about that choice. They can pick pudding if they want to pick pudding. They can have a 3-course meal and not let it define their whole week. They can have something spontaneous in the day and not let that dictate their whole mood for the whole week. They can not exercise and feel okay. They can have a rest day and feel okay. So many things you can receive back into your life because you keep proving to yourself that they're fine and that you deserve them. The most important thing and the most amazing thing I think comes from becoming the free version of yourself is self-leadership and self-control and self-empowerment. And I just think like everything that I speak to you is with such meaning. Like I can't explain what I'm trying to say with that, but like there is so much fire within me about what I talk to you about, because I know, like, I was the person that would say that could never be me. That could never be me. That isn't possible for people like me. Yeah, but my body's different. My body looks disgusting. No, we are no different. Me and you are no different. So that's why I speak with such like intensity about it, because I need you to believe this for yourself, that this is possible for yourself. And I love being in control again, and the self-leadership thing, like I love the fact I'm in control. I love the fact I can call the voice out on this BS, and I love the fact I can say, who the fuck said that to the voice? I love the fact that I can choose something I want to eat knowing full well it's going to piss that voice off in my head. I just love having that power back. I love that I walk into rooms now and know that not one opinion of what anyone else could think about my body bothers me. I love the fact that I will not let anyone ever get in the way of me and my relationship with myself and food. Like, I am so strong about myself now, in the sense of I actually am my own best friend. Yeah, I can still beat myself up some days. Who doesn't? I'm human. But like, with going through this illness and bringing myself out of it, like, I am like a bodyguard, I guess, to myself. I'm like, don't fucking say that to anyone who's struggling with food. Like, I don't know, I'm just really protective of myself, and that comes with self-leadership, I think, and that comes with always looking for how you're going to nurture yourself in situations, like who you're going to talk to. Like, if I'm feeling vulnerable in a situation or I'm panicking, like I'll speak up about it, and then someone else can jump in. A problem shared is a problem halved. So like, it's always, you're making decisions about yourself for yourself. It's so sweet. And just, I don't know, I just love giving myself a hug. Yeah, you just love yourself, really. You look out for yourself, and I just think that's really nice. And just to go a little bit deeper, there is a deeper identity to the person that you are going to become, okay? Old thought patterns that you are going to have versus new ones. Old thought patterns around food would be like, I need to get this right to be okay. This needs to be okay. This needs to be controlled. This needs to be right, or I won't be okay. The new thought pattern that you could think to yourself in this, and is one that I get faced with if I feel a bit overwhelmed by food or something, I'll think to myself, I can sit with this even if it's not perfect, and I can still be okay. Because worrying about it isn't going to do anything. Worrying about it is giving fuel to the voice. I can sit when things feel imperfect to me, and I will still be okay. Another one is, my peace requires control. My peace around food requires control. No, it doesn't. My peace and my happiness comes from self-leadership, self-trust, self-control around food. That's when I felt my happiest. The other way was to keep the voice happy. This is how I feel my happiest. One food choice can throw me off. No. I can sit with myself and not abandon myself. When an ordinary human moment happens, I'm not going to abandon myself. When a little mistake happens, I'm not going to abandon myself. It's not a mistake. It's just something my brain didn't necessarily expect. It's not a mistake. I don't need to panic. And the biggest one that I can relate to the most, because I'm a control freak, I need certainty before I can relax. No, I can live inside a life without needing everything to be perfect first, without needing to know the answer to everything, without having to control everything. I can live in a life. You can't control life, so you might as well just live in it without trying to control it, Niamh. They are just ways that I speak to myself with how thoughts can feel so hard to escape, but it's possible. You just have to talk to yourself differently. Becoming the person who is free around food is not just behaviour, it's perception. And you have to stop seeing yourself as incapable, unworthy, different from everyone else, or only being safe inside rules. You have to start seeing a version of you who is becoming free around food. Someone who doesn't have to get it perfect every day, but every day puts 1% in to trying to heal their relationship with food, for showing up for themselves every day, knowing they are more deserving in this world. Someone who is capable of being free around food, someone who is capable of self-trust, someone who is capable of worthy around food, someone who is capable of allowing their body to change and it not meaning anything about them, someone who is capable to trust their food choices, someone who is capable to think differently. You are so capable. The voice is telling you you are not, to keep you stuck. The person you want to become is the person that you keep choosing every single day, not the person that's building their life around fear. And that's not your fault, but you have to keep reminding yourself every day, I choose to build the person who is me, who is free around food, and I am capable of doing that. I'm capable of freeing myself. They choose to see more about themselves. They choose to see that this isn't the deepest truth about them. They choose to keep showing up when it feels uncomfortable. Because if I was built out of self-trust, showing up every day, belief, repeated self-leadership, then that version of you is not impossible and is not out of reach, because this is coming from someone who really thought it was impossible. The version of you who's free around food is not waiting at the end of some perfect transformation, okay? It's built through the choices that you make when fear wants to lead, but you don't let it. You do not become them all at once. It is through small moments, showing yourself that you are okay and you will always be okay and you are capable of being okay. So this is how you become the person who is free around food. And I want to emphasize it's not through one big breakthrough, but through the moments where your old identity is screaming for you to listen to it. And you choose the new one. What would the new one do? The new one knows it will be uncomfortable, but the new one trusts and believes they are capable of doing it. And if you truly believe that for yourself, and truly know you can do it and truly want it, then I have no doubt. And you should have no doubt, and I want that for you. I really hope this episode has helped you open your mind up a little bit and a little bit more awareness to what the voice is stealing from you. I'll tell you something, I feel gassed after that. Like, I feel like I could actually waffle for 2 hours. I think I've gone longer than normal, but anything to help with easing that mind of yours. So with that being said, I cannot wait to catch up with you again next week. And like always, if you could follow along, subscribe, whatever you need to do, then I would greatly appreciate that. And I'm sending you so much love for this week and so much strength. Thank you so much for listening. I'm leaving a link below if you want anything more from me. So I'll see you soon.